And that is the beauty of blogging and SEO. It's responsible for about 95% of my business. So definitely it's the business. My business wouldn't exist without it. They actually don't take very long to become clients. So in reality, if you had to put all the time together, they become clients in less than an hour because it takes 30 minutes on a call and a few minutes for them to read a blog post. So
how could you afford it? Work less and get more clients.
It's kind of a different way of catching more people. You have to convince somebody who has failed at this before that with your help, they can actually do it.
How to leverage Google and SEO optimization for lead generation organically? Yes, you will get the answer to this question right now from our expert. So stop and watch this video. And let's understand how it works really as a blogging. So the blog is not just about the traffic on your website, of course, it's also about converting these people who come to your website into the clients, and the clients who buy your service, for example, or product, and so on. So how to manage this retention of the people on your website that could be your clients?
With social media, the people that are becoming your clients today, they became your fans or your followers 8, 6, 12 months ago. So they take a long time to warm up. They get to know you, it's a very different medium. The people who come to your website by finding your blog in a search engine, they were already looking to take action. So in fact, a lot of the people I speak to, when they come on my call through the blogs, they're either already shopping around, so they're talking to me and maybe they're talking to another 1 or 2 options to achieve the same thing, or they were just looking to get some information so that they can resolve this problem that they have, and it could be generating leads or learning how to blog or something of the sort. So it's a very different kind of medium because there is no retention involved, in the sense that you need to keep the person reading on the page. But that's in reality the only task you have. You need to keep people reading till the end and then get them to take action. But then once they do, that's a very fast process because it takes between 3 and 12 minutes to read a blog post. And then they jump on a call with you, which is usually, in my case, it's a 30-minute call. Some people have 45-minute calls. I also, in the beginning, used to do 1-hour calls that now seem really long because I have too many leads. But yes, but they actually don't take very long to become clients. So in reality, if you had to put all the time together, they become clients in less than an hour because it takes 30 minutes on a call and a few minutes for them to read a blog post. So it's actually very, very quick.
So I could take, for example, my example. I could read 1,000,001 blogs to understand how work something, some processes, for example, for content creation, and but I don't buy the service of this person, so I just read and explore the information. So what should the coach put in the blog to push me to buy this service?
Okay, that's a very good point, Daria, because approximately, around 2%, maybe a little bit more, maybe sometimes for certain pages it will be more, it will be 6% or even 10%, but only a small percentage of people are going to book that call. The remaining 90%, 95 or 98%, they are not going to be ready to book that call.
Like me.
So yeah, they're not going to be, they're going to be researching. And this is something that we actually build into the content plan. So we know that a client has a certain customer journey to go through before they are ready to buy from you. And some people are going to start researching before they're ready to buy. And that happens, and that's perfectly fine. So what you want to do on your website, you want to have people who, you want to have the tools for people to actually book a call with you, and you want to push them and persuade them, and you want to have the right call to action. But then you also want to have something for those people who will never return to your website because they are not ready. So, you can do something like have a pop-up and ask them if they want to receive more information from you, more blogs in my case. You can have a quiz. I also have a quiz on my website.
Yes, that's great. I took it. Yeah, I love it. Really, I love quizzes. Yeah, it's a really good tool for engagement.
People like quizzes, and also, when you do like something like a quiz or a downloadable PDF, or you can invite them, to a recorded webinar, a recorded free training, even just a PDF guide. So anything that gives them value, encourages them to jump on your email list. They must have ended up on your website because they were interested in something that you've put there. Every post you rank, it's practically the only medium. YouTube doesn't do it. Facebook doesn't do it. TikTok doesn't do it. Instagram doesn't do it. There is no platform out there that's going to give you the same thing as Google. And basically what that is, once you rank a blog post, you're going to get people who want to buy from you come to your website every single month for years and years for each post. Whereas when we put a post on social media, it disappears. You put a post on YouTube, okay, it reaches some audience, but then it fizzles out. It doesn't sort of stay at the same level like when you launched it. So it is the one platform where the more you rank, the more you're going to stack traffic, and the more leads and the more profit you're going to get. So it's a very good medium as well, because it doesn't take up a lot of time. So you get this really good long-term sort of return on investment.
What are the best components of the blog that really sells? So what is the time for reading? What the information should be there? So to really cover these 2% of people who are really ready to buy your service?
Definitely, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have a strong introduction and that you make people a little bit curious. You give them a reason to keep reading. Now, of course, there are different ways of doing this, the way you lay it out, the way you break down your sentences. There's different techniques to get people to be curious. But if you just keep that one thing in mind, it's very human to be curious. If you can find something that's going to make people curious about what's in your article, then people will keep reading. So that's definitely the first and most important thing. Another thing is you want to have relevance. So people are going to come to your post usually because they have read the title in the search results. So you want to make sure that when they see your article, even if they skim read it at first sight, they feel like they've landed in the right place. Because sometimes you get blogs where, you find an article that's called, for instance, 10 ways to, get more traffic. And then when you land on that post, you find that it's talking to you about a particular software specifically. And then kind of it goes into the rest. So they're trying to sell something before they've actually given value. And that is definitely something to avoid, to make sure that you are giving value. Now, giving value is perceived, for instance, differently perhaps from search engines and from people. However, what I found sort of in all these years of blogging is that when you have an article that is broken down into steps, so if it's explaining something, if it's giving you a list of tools, if it's showing you a roadmap on how to achieve something, if it's breaking down a problem and finding a solution, when you have these kind of articles and they are either you have a list or you have a step-by-step process or you have a numbered list.
Yeah.
These things really help, because as soon as people see that, they're going to be able to skim read and they immediately know what's in your article.
What about length of the blog? How long should I read the blog that really sells? So, for example, today is everything about microlearning.
As a general rule, you can actually have an article that is as short as 400 to 600 words, where frequency and keeping the bot coming to your site to find new content is very important, because a few years ago, Google updated the algorithm with a freshness score where, fresh content is given a certain advantage. But then it doesn't always work that way, you know? So as a general rule, if you're going to start blogging, I would say keep it short and keep it frequent. In fact, you need to make sure, even for SEO, that you have your tools in place. Something as simple as this Google Search Console, which is free. And you can install it and you can know exactly how many people are coming to your website and what's happening and all this.
But when we talk about coaches, because you specialize the work with coaches, so how we could tell about the content they should provide and what should be the topics? There should be evergreen topics, or I should follow trends for today.
Newsjacking is something that is more befitting to social media than actually your blog. Because, you know, if you end up with a lot of articles that are maybe not so close to the kind of things that you sell, so you start really varying your topics, it's going to dilute the understanding that search engines can gain about your website. Whereas if you really focus on evergreen content about your topic, it's going to be much easier for search engines to understand exactly what you are dealing with here and the kind of things you're selling and the kind of things that you're teaching if you're a coach.
What are the niches now the best for starting and doing the blogs for coaches?
What really matters is that there is traffic for your particular industry. And I can assure that all these industries have traffic because I've done keyword research with many, many clients. What makes it seem like it's more successful for life coaches is because life coaches are the most numerous of all coaches. So there are many, many more life coaches than any other kind of coach. There are loads and loads of them because they kind of all do different things, but they kind of achieve similar outcomes, but with lots of different kinds of methods. So usually life coaches tend to benefit a lot more from the process because, you know, in the process of creating their content plan, we also find a unique niche. And I think this is sort of the strength. If you're going to go for SEO, it's going to guide you to actually find your niche. And when you find your niche and you really focus on that particular niche, then you're not competing with all the other life coaches. Then you're only competing with the ones that give exactly the same outcome as you do, that deal with exactly the same kind of person. And usually that means that you're reducing your competition by a lot.
If your prospects tell, I'm not ready to your program, you're attracting the wrong people. So do you agree with such statement? What is usually wrong? There are any mistakes? What do you think?
Very often, the main problem is that, you know, there is what we call a customer journey. A customer needs to go through a specific process of thinking, of feeling certain struggles in order to be ready to buy from you. So if somebody is not buying from you, it means they are not the right kind of client. If you have done the right work, so you have researched your ideal client properly, you have validated, you have aligned your programs and your messaging with that ideal client, you have validated your ideas with keyword research. So, you know, people out there are really looking for that stuff. If you've done those three things, you will get people who are willing to buy from you and who are going to come from you. And sometimes it can happen as well a lot with social media, because with social media, you cannot be very specific as to the kind of people you come across. So people might be interested in the kind of content that you created, but you never really know maybe at what stage they are. And this is where sharing blogs on social media is really effective, because if your title is going to attract a person that's in the right stage to buy from you, and you have the persuasive process to filter that audience and get the right people to click, then you're already going to sort of do better from social media.
I would like to invite you, Stephanie, to do Introwise brand questions. It's very quick questions and very quick answers. Are you ready?
Yes, of course.
Who are you in one word?
Who am I in one word? In one only?
Yeah. It's quickly questions.
Who am I? I don't know. I would say I'm probably just too honest.
And what is your best business advice?
Simplify.
What is your time management advice? What is your favorite time management advice?
Simplify. Simplify again. Because I think that's the most important thing. I've seen the best results in my business when I've spent time simplifying and just doing small things better. Just doing just the same things better, not doing more and more.
Why did you become a marketing specialist?
Oh, it's because it's my passion. I just love to do it.
How did you find your first client?
My first client is the person that got me into my coaching business.
Where people could find you, Stephanie?
Right, so people can find me ideally on my website. That's stephaniefiteni.com. But if you search Fiteni Fiteni, you'll also find my social media platforms where you can also find my blog.
Let me present you a little present. So now people could find you also not only on social media, but also on Introwise. Could I help you to create the page? It takes 3 minutes.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I'd like that.